I want to share with everyone the protocol that's going on in the hospital from some close friends of mine that are working there and putting their life on the line at work every single day because they want the information spread that people don't need to run to the hospital for certain things. There's just precautions you need to take because people are coming there and getting turned away. Now, she literally said that people are dropping like flies. The only way out of this is to optimize your immune system. You have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Now, the main reason that people are dying is due to pneumonia. She said 90% of the people that are coming into the hospital are not coming out. And one of the biggest reasons is due to pneumonia, a critical and serious lung infection. Now, I just want you to focus on this small corner right here. Don't look at this right now, but we need to discuss breathing because when air travels into your lungs, it travels through these bronchial trees and then it emerges into these grape-like sacs over here called the alveoli where oxygen transfuses across a very, very thin membrane into the blood. And these tiny sacs are where the viruses breed. This is where we have the extreme inflammation, we have less energy, and the oxygen is not making it into the blood. And when the oxygen is not making it into the blood, these sacs over here, this green stuff over here it could be fluid, it could be mucus, pus, so it makes it harder for you to breathe and it makes harder for the oxygen to get into the bloodstream. She also mentioned that the first thing they do when you come to the hospital, if you're admitted, because if you don't have shortness of breath, they're going to turn you away. And there's no real protocol or education when they turn you away. So most of the people that get turned away end up coming back when it's more critical. And she said those people typically don't make it out. But one of the first things that they do is give you oxygen. And if anybody is familiar with Otto Warburg, he got a Nobel Peace Prize and he literally proved that virus and bacteria could not survive in the presence of oxygen. It cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. Once he said that, that should have been it. Oxygen is important, but how are we going to get the oxygen in? Why is oxygen so important? So what happens when we breathe? I just took in some oxygen, right? So then now I have this red blood cell that has hemoglobin. In the center of the hemoglobin, I have iron. Iron is magnetic. Iron is at the center of hemoglobin so that it could attract the oxygen electrons. The iron is pulling as much charge from the oxygen as possible. And what's left becomes free radical because the oxygen atom has 8 electrons. So the iron comes through, starts pulling and pulling. There might be some that's left over. And the oxygen atom always has to become whole. So it becomes a free radical. And that's when it starts causing issues, inflammation, all sorts of dis-ease inside of the body. That's why we always need to have antioxidants, anti-rusting, anti-breakdown. Antioxidants is what we need in order to also assist building our immune system. So the other day, I'm going to the post office to ship off orders, and I see somebody with a mask on and gloves, but she's eating McDonald's. You're eating McDonald's, you're walking through the drive-thru, but you have on a mask and you have on gloves, and I have a problem with this. And the reason I have a problem with this is not necessarily because junk food takes the electrons. No, junk food doesn't take electrons because they're dead, right? They can't take electricity. But they accumulate. The waste from the junk food accumulates all throughout your body and they block the flow of electricity. Electricity is everything. So if you're taking in all of this junk food, the waste and the byproduct of the junk food is going to start to build up in different areas of your body. Those different areas are going to form weak spots where electricity is going to have a problem getting from one area to the next. So you might have some numbing, some tingling, and that's how you typically starts. Maybe you have some numbness in the chest because you don't have any electricity flowing in that area. It's not necessarily the junk food. The junk food has no electricity. So instead of having enough conductors, you have a bunch of insulators in your body stopping the flow of electricity. You need conductors. Junk food is insulators. So you can't just walk around with gloves and a mask all day and you're not taking care of your body in the other way that the hospitals are recommending. I'm gonna skip over these two real quick, which is with the vitamin C and the zinc. Vitamin C all day. And remember, when you're overly stressed, when you have chronic stress, the vitamin C in your adrenal glands, which is just above your kidney, gets depleted really quickly. Now, for me, people were looking at me as if I wasn't taking the situation seriously because I don't watch the news 24/7 or because I don't talk about it 24/7. I don't add unnecessary stress into my life that I cannot prevent or cannot change. The most that I will do is do the educational videos, but there are a lot of videos that break down exactly what this virus is. You can check out KT the Arch Degrees video. It's a beautiful presentation, so I don't think it's necessary for me to do a video on the virus, but I did want to touch on the hospital. Now, I don't put myself in stressful situations. I don't think about COVID-19 24/7. I don't do things like that. I make sure that my body is ready so that when I do go outside, because I still work, I have an essential job outside of the holistic healing. So I make sure that I take my vitamin C every day, and I don't take the vitamin C that's known as ascorbic acid. I have my own vitamin C with my company that has amla, camu, and then I add an eleuthero root, which enhances mitochondrial activity so that you could eliminate more free radicals. I like real vitamin C. And aside from supplements, I eat fruits all day. I have seeded blackberries because we all still got to go to the market. I get my lemons. I have a whole lemon every single morning. It's right here. I start my morning with the juice of one full lemon. I do have key limes, but they're so tiny, and I just don't want to sit here and squeeze 10,000 key limes together. Seeded lemons, and I start my day with that. And then I also get into my herbal tea, and I also make sure that I have ample amount of water. A lot of times the virus is able to attach to the cell because we dehydrated. How much people are drinking water? How much people are really drinking water? Real quick, this is essentially what the virus looks like in an analytical world. This is what the virus is going to look like. It has these little studs that are sticking out, and these studs is what the virus uses to attach to your DNA. And one thing we have to understand is that viral particles, they don't metabolize energy. They can only reproduce when they become integrated into our structures. The viruses, they have the capacity to enter cells, rip off, they are able to rip off sections of DNA. Now, this is the DNA, my DNA. They're able to rip off sections of DNA right here. Everything that was attached all nicely lined. And they can weave them into their own genetic structure. This is the virus's DNA. They're able to take this DNA and weave it into their own structure. And that's how they're able to dupe your entire body into letting them into more areas in your body. And typically they're going to go into the areas that are the weakest. Where are your weak points? Is it your lungs? Is it your thyroid? Is it your stomach? Wherever your weak points are, that's where the viruses are going to literally use your white blood cells now as a taxi cab, as Minister Inky would say, and take the bus to the weakest point in your body so that they could replicate and continue to live. And I say white blood cells because at this point, now what is supposed to be is defending you doesn't really know who's who, because now this area in here, this genetic protein from the virus now has a section of your DNA. So now any part of your body that sees this virus is going to think that it's your original part. Now it thinks that it's you, and it's going to let it in. So the white blood cells that should be shooting off and killing these bad guys is helping them transport. They're transporting them to different areas in your body. The viruses, they have no nucleus, they have no cell wall. And the interesting thing about viruses, which is why I believe that they're so intelligent, is that they're literally able to alter their form rapidly to take on newer forms at will, all based on their analysis of the environment around them. And this particular virus, the coronavirus, is a RNA virus. You have different kind of viruses. You have DNA viruses, you have RNA viruses. DNA viruses, those are the hustlers from the block that continue to sell the same drugs on the same corner every single time. They don't change, and they're the ones that typically get caught. And they get arrested, they leave. Those are the block boys. They're not that bright. RNA viruses, they're the intelligent ones. They never do the same move twice. They don't talk on the phone. You never know when they're coming. They are literally changing their form based on their environment. And that's why when a vaccination comes out for COVID-19, it is not going to work, because by the time the vaccination comes out, your man right here is going to have already changed form. Anywhere this virus go, it can chemically alter its form. It's very, very intelligent. It's similar to the flu virus. You're always going to be a year behind because it can alter its form. DNA viruses, it's a little bit different. They're not that bright. They replicate the same exact way every single time, but that's not the case with this virus. So remember, lowered immune responses at various locations in the body, it's going to allow the virus to enter, and you now become the host, and now they're going to replicate. The virus literally rapes your cell and inserts its genetic structure. That's what it does. The only way to prevent this from happening is to be ready and to have your immune system functioning at optimal levels with vitamin C, with zinc. And the other two things that the hospital are doing, because as usual, I go way off topic because I can't stop talking, is they're giving people Plaquenil. Now, what's interesting with the Plaquenil, which my friend told me about, also called hydroxychloroquine, is that it's anti-inflammatory because the virus is causing systemic inflammation throughout the body, which is going to cause the issues that I explained with the grape-like sacs. This would be good if it was strictly an anti-inflammatory drug. Even though it's not natural, if it was able to help, then cool. It's a temporary fix. The problem with this is that it's actually an immune suppressant because they use this same drug in lupus and arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. They use this because those are overactive immune dis-ease, and this is included in the protocol where you need your immune system as active as possible. This is where you want your immune system functioning high. So while Plaquenil is reducing the inflammation in your body, it's also suppressing your immune system, which is why it's not going to work 100% for people whose immune system is already compromised, because now you're reducing it even more, even though you're getting rid of the inflammation. It doesn't really work well that way. This is another one called azithromycin. And if you go on Google, it will literally tell you, will not work for viral infections. But my nurse friends told me that the purpose of it is to prevent future infections. But in this country, antibiotics are overprescribed. They're prescribed for millions of reasons. And the issue with them is that they're killing the gut microbiome. We all have little people living within our digestive tract, along our esophagus, in our mouth, and they assist us with various functions throughout the day, such as breaking down food. They're on our skin. They're everywhere. We have 10 to the 31st power of bacteria in and on our body. That means 10 with 31 zeros going all the way down. So we have functioning micro, tiny bacteria that's in our body that helps us process a lot of our foods. They help us with our thinking. And when you take something that is an antibiotic, you are killing the gut microbiome. You are killing the microbes that are in your body that are supposed to be there to help you. And that's one of the reasons why people will get leaky gut. They'll get Crohn's, they'll get SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, because of the over prescribing of antibiotics. You can't take these for every single problem. It's not the solution for everything. The solution, which my good friend told me that China was doing, was vitamin C infusions. That's what we need to be doing. Straight up, intravenously, vitamin C. I'm pretty sure that would help rather than just taking capsules when you are in that point where it seems like it's about to end. Vitamin C intravenously, I believe, would make a huge difference. We need to build our immune system with limes, lemons, berries. The darker the berry, the better. We need to make sure we're hydrated. A dehydrated body is also breeding grounds for bacteria. You want to make sure that, I know we're supposed to stay in the house, but you want to still make sure that you're getting some sunlight. You need vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the biggest issues for a lot of chronic diseases. So you still want to figure out a way to get some vitamin D. I have some good sunlight here. Along with that, and you still want to make sure that you're moving, because the only way to eliminate free radicals efficiently and to have your lymphatic system moving efficiently, moving waste out of your body, is through movement. Your lymphatic system has no pump like the heart. So with that being said, if you're just sitting down all day, you're going to start getting swollen lymph nodes, maybe in your neck, maybe in the groin, maybe under the armpit. Movement is critical. If you had a gym membership and now you don't have one anymore, there's a lot of people that are doing gym memberships online. If you really don't know what to do, you still need that assistance that's virtual. Get an online membership, work with a trainer online. You have to keep moving. You got to move. You got to drink your water. You need your vitamin C. You need your zinc. You need natural